Good morning, and welcome to another exciting episode of Breakfast with Unity. We are broadcasting from a secret location in San Francisco right now, and hopefully this will go through. It looked like the bandwidth was actually way better than what I haven't been, so I don't think this is going to be a problem. But, you know, untested connection, so problems may occur. So today, what we're going to be doing is, I'm not sure if you guys saw the video, but I made this modification to the project that we were working on, and ended up coming up with something that looked like this. And you can, it's basically the same concept as to what we were working on, except for I just made it look cool. And I really like how it turned out. And the best part is all the effects that you see here are actually completely available in Unity Basic. I don't do anything with full screen effects or shaders, though I do kind of replicate the effects in certain instances. And it's actually very simple how I've set some of this stuff up. Also, this all uses just built-in shaders. You don't need any additional shader code than what is included in Unity to do these effects. And some people will be like, wait, how can you have this like reflective stuff without Unity Pro? Not a real-time reflection. This is just a environment map reflection. And the distortion here is just simply a part of the bump mapping for a reflective shader in Unity. So I'm going to switch back over to what we had before. So the way I had this set up is with branches, which is cool because this doesn't actually even have to hit a server when we switch projects. I just hit switch over to master, and it gives me an error because I had stuff checked out, so I want to do this again. We're going to discard our local changes. Okay. Just move. I don't care. Just switch it. Thank you. All right. So, you saw how easy that was. So, we go back in here, and it will come back to where we were at. Because I think that I kept the, yeah, I did. I kept the, this level was literally copied and pasted into the new project. So, it still has to do the import operation, so sorry about the wait on this. But yeah. So, what is that? Oh, yeah. That's right, we had an MP3 in the project. And reload. There we go. We're back to where we were at. So this is what we had, and yeah, it's the same thing. It just looks different. So we're gonna show how I got some of these really cool looking effects working. So I'm not guaranteeing that it'll look exactly the same by the time we're done because we're doing this from the start. I'm trying to do it in 15 minutes. So first off, I've got 4 textures that we're going to be using. We're probably going to not touch Flash today, but if we, well, not Flash like the thing, not, you know, Macromedia Flash in general, but if we reveal this in Finder, I just want to show these off. So we've got this. This is our main texture. This is used for the environment map for the backgrounds and for the reflections. Lightning, this is used for that force ball, and that's it. We technically don't even need that if we're not updating the force ball, and we might not have time to do that today. We have this noise pattern. This is important for the bumping and the fact that everything distorts and stuff. This is actually from this texture. It's just simple pixel noise. You can just add this in any image editor worth of salt has a noise generator. And we just went very light on the noise. Like you can see, it's mostly black, and then there's some white specks. And then this window here is for the picture-in-picture that I set up, and this doesn't. This again, we might not touch. The main things that we're going to look at are grid, sky, and noise today. So, what are we doing? So we're going to go ahead and work on the environment map first. So let's do the simplest one, which is the Skybox. So we're going to create a folder here. We're going to call it shaders, and I'm going to create a new. And we're going to call this grid skybox pink is what we're going to call it. We wanted to create not a shader. Brain's not working as well as I'd like it to this morning. We want to actually create a material called skybox. What did I call it? Grid skybox. We'll just call it grid skybox. That's fine. So we're going to go into the inspector here on this shader, and we're going to change it to, I think it's under FX. No. Render effects. Skybox. There we go. And so Skybox wants a bunch of textures and we can totally just apply this texture multiple times. But there's actually a faster one. If you go, it's not faster in running, but it's faster to set up. So I mean, it's the same speed in running though. So if we go into Render Effects Skybox Cubed, it wants a cube map. Now, this seems like it would be actually more trouble to work with because you can't just drag in your texture here. But what we can do is on the import settings for Grid Sky, we can actually change it so that it is a reflection. This actually turns it into a skybox. And 6 frames layout is what we want. That means that each frame will be put on the sides. And if we hit apply here, this thing now actually is a skybox. You can see that we can move it around. So, and you can tell that I'm in San Francisco because there's alarms going on. So we're gonna go into Grid Sky and we're gonna throw it in here. And I'm just gonna go into our render settings and put Grid Skybox in as our skybox material. So we hit play. We now have a basic skybox that looks like a grid, which is cool. And it's white. We can change that just by changing the tint color. So I'm just going to make it some like interesting color. I find it interesting that it's tinting it differently than I thought it was going to. I guess it does bring a little of the color into the black. That's kind of cool, actually. Maybe it's not totally black, or maybe tint probably does things a little bit differently than I think. So now we've got the little like Tron-looking background thing. So let's now work on our reflective texture. So we're going to create what are we going to call this? Another material. And this one's going to be called reflective cubes. That's what I'm going to call it. And this one we're going to be using, where is it? This is going to be called reflective. I think we just used, okay, yeah, what I used was reflective specular. That's how I got all of the wonderful colors going on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on our cubes real quick. Where's our cubes? There it is. So I'm going to just, actually I'm going to duplicate this so that we don't mess up our previous projects. And we're going to call this cube target, that's fine. And actually I'm going to call it reflective cube, even though it's actually a target for this cube. But and we're going to put reflective cubes on here. And I'm going to hit play and look at our cubes. And then just hit Command-Shift-P or Control-Shift-P if you're on Windows to pause it. And now we're going to play around with our shader while we can see it in action. So what we're going to need is we're going to need our reflection cube map, which is we already have. We just throw that Grid Sky in there, reflection cube map right there. And the reflection color, in the case of what I did before, I'm not sure if you noticed, but it actually changes the reflection to be red. So I'm going to make this deep red. And why is this not updating on the cube? Okay, it is. It's just not showing up very well, I guess. Oh, yeah, it's because these are instances, so they're not going to update. So let's not do the pause trick. We're just going to drag one of these in to the scene. And I'm just going to put it somewhere where we can see it. There we go. So I'm just going to make this huge so that we can see how it works. And you can see that it looks like it just continues the skybox, and that's just because of the nature of how it works. But I actually really like that effect. So, so here we go. Here's our cube. It's halfway through the ground, but I don't care. So we're going to go back and do the reflective cubes now. We're going to play with this. So we also need, oh, and this is actually not what we want. We want reflective. We want one more step of crazy. So we want reflective, bumped, specular. That's what we want. So now this can take a normal map. So the thing is, noise is not a normal map. Noise, we're going to be pretending it's a height map. It's really just a bunch of noise. But we can have Unity automatically generate a normal map based on this as a height map. So all we have to do is we go in here and we choose normal map. And it automatically defaults to create from grayscale. This is awesome. So if we just hit apply at this point, this thing becomes this really differently colored thing. And it's because this is actually a normal map. Each of these pixels represents a vector using the three colors. So red, green, and blue becomes X, Y, and Z. And these represent the normals, or rather the surface, the direction the surface reflects at each point. So when we go into the cube here, not the cube, if we go into the reflective cubes shader, we can do it on the cube as well, but it's easier to work with here. And we're going to put noise on here. And this is a bit much. You can see that at the very corners, you can kind of see that it's doing the reflective thing. And that we can adjust by changing the bumpiness in our import settings. So I'm going to bring the bumpiness way down to like 0.5 or something. I don't know. Maybe further. 0.25, 0.26, somewhere in there. That's probably still too bumpy. But it might be just also the color that we've chosen here. Here, let's actually bring 0.1. Yeah, that's probably good. So now what we've got is we have this cube, and it looks better, and it's got the cool shiny. We got to bring this down a little bit more. So I'm going to make the main color black. Or actually, no, let's not do that. Let's do a dark blue. Nice deep blue. And then our specular color, we're going to make a pink. And what specular looks like is I'm going to go ahead and, no. I'm going to just delete. How would that lose my prefab? Alright, I'm going to apply this just in case. Oh wait, we don't want it to be gigantic though. Apply. And then let's delete this. I don't understand. Okay, whatever. It looks like it held, so I don't know why you knew you was saying that. Though it's not... Oh yeah, that's because we didn't tell it to spawn the new one. So let's actually save this scene as... We're going to put it in our new section. We're going to call this... what is it called? Effects. Actually, let's call it shaders. So if we now go into Grid Spawner and we make sure that it spawns the new reflective cube and hit play, there we go. So now I've got the cubes doing the reflection thing, and each one is doing the reflection thing. What do we have time for after this? This one's probably going to become a two-parter. So the other project, I made it the cube a bit bigger, and the way I did it is I didn't increase the size of the cube, because if I just double this, it's a cubic operation. It's ridiculous how many cubes it ends up creating. So what I ended up doing was I changed their scale. So on the cube side, I set the scale to 5 by 5 by 5. And on the grid spawner, we changed it so that, first of all, this goes 2.5 up now, so that's half of a cube unit. And we make sure that the object spacing is set to 5, and actually I'm going to do 4.9, 4.9, and 4.9. This may actually cause a problem, we'll find out. I think that we set the cubes not to collide, but okay, we did, good. So now it looks much more like the project that I showed you. Our force ball is not moving as fast, and we don't have the interiors doing things. But we'll save that for next time. We will just continue this over on another episode. I just don't want to burn through more than 20 minutes in the morning. Is this a good stopping point? Yeah, let's stop here. Let's stop here. There's still a bunch to do, so... But you can see that we were using just a built-in shader. And I'm just going to go ahead. Actually, let's do one more thing. Let's get the plane going. So I could just put reflective cubes on here. If we hit play, you'll see that it kind of looks like, well, it already did. Perfect. We didn't even have to do much. So this is actually the same thing. It's just really stretched out. And that's the reason it looks like this like crazy reflective floor now. And so we've got... We got, two for the price of one here as far as the shaders go. I actually set it up as a separate texture so that I could be more specific with it in my own project, but this actually turned out better than last time I tried this for some reason. So So this is how you do the reflective portion of the shaders. Tomorrow we will look at doing the glowy bits and the separate interiors, and also making the texture have a little bit of life to it. Right now it just is static when you stop moving. In the other project it actually moves and jitters and stuff, and it's actually very easy to achieve that. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and you guys have a great day. I will try to see you tomorrow morning if possible. I may not be able to do tomorrow because I have a very busy schedule. But if not, I'll see you on Wednesday, and then we'll be back to our normal schedule after that. So, thank you very much, and you guys have a great one.